So, the 2017 Crunchyroll Anime Awards happened recently. It's a flashy celebration where nerds from around the world can come together in appreciation of anime, an art medium that only seems to grow in both quality and popularity as the years go by. However, while watching the Anime Awards, there was one title that was really excited to see shine, but I didn't seem to catch it anywhere during the presentation. This title was my favourite of the past 5 years, Koe no Kachi, also known as A Silent Voice. In this video, while I don't aim to spoil any of the major climaxes of the movie, I may tread in some mild spoiler territory, so as we dip into the meat of this, here is your mild, lukewarm, half-hour spoiler warning. That being said though, if you've not watched or even heard of this, let me explain why this movie meant so much to me. A Silent Voice destroyed me in the most beautiful way possible. The film opens to a showcase of an unassuming young man taking actions that seem to point to the fact that he plans on ending his life soon. This is one of our two main characters, Shoya Ishida, a soft-spoken boy with a heavy conscience, and as the film progresses we find out that this is due to actions taken in his childhood. As a younger child, Shoya was many things: a practical joker, a delinquent, and most importantly, a bully to easy targets in his school. Flash forward to the day when the most important victim of his abuses joins the school, main character number 2, Shoko Nishimiya, a transfer student blighted with the unfortunate disability of being deaf. Despite this, she communicates with her peers through sign language and this notepad that she clings to. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever been bullied? Have you ever fallen victim to the unfortunate fact that children don't know the meaning of going too far? Have you felt your feet drag as you walk into your school, your workplace, or even your own home with the lingering thought that your presence could be met with disdain, or your simple attempts to get through the day might be all the initiative that another human being needs to treat you like shit? I don't need to ask. Half of the world has. And our leading lady, Nishimiya, has as well. You watch her struggle, you watch her turn the other cheek, you watch her try to reason with animosity, you watch her fight back, you watch her feel powerless, and you watch her crumble. And this is the first point that we delve into about this film. Its exploration of emotion is so viscerally tactile. We'll come to explore this point more later, but the point I'm making is Silent Voice speaks to the most human part of you. After what must be months of agony at the hands of Shoya and some of the other kids, after hateful comments, unwillingness to accommodate for her disability, and at times physical abuses and damage of her property, Nishimiya is taken out of the school, and the teachers know exactly why. The principal enters the classroom. Kids, Nishimiya has left the school. We know this is due to people destroying her incredibly expensive hearing aids that she uses to assist with her disability. Please come forward with any information. And after a hard-hitting and very public conversation with the classroom, all eyes are on Shoya as the main culprit, and we learn about one of this film's biggest themes: consequence. Shoya is excommunicated. He himself starts to become the victim of bullying, people are colder and less welcoming of him, he watches as his mum is forced to reimburse Nishimiya's mother due to the cost of all of the broken property. He goes through puberty being hated, and eventually growing to hate himself. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever experienced regret? Have you ever trespassed against someone you love? Have you ever gone too far? Do you ever feel so blind to the actions you've taken until it's already too late? This is our second theme: regret and forgiveness. Shoya grows to be an introverted young guy. The direction he's put himself on has left him an anxious, shy straw man. And throughout the course of the film, with the help of the very girl that he bullied, we watch his journey. Whether through salvaging relationships, self-reflection, or suicide, we watch him reconcile with himself and the people around him. Now let's get technical, as I haven't even mentioned this yet, but the artistic direction of this movie is stellar. Shit looks so good. I could get technical, I could say the summary colour palette of the childhood scene. No, bullshit. The quality speaks for itself. What's more notable is its depiction of emotion through certain camera angles and decorative choices. By that I mean this shit. The main character grew to be a loner. He shies away from human company as he was once denied this, and this is represented by these crosses, which we get the joy of seeing leave one by one. Furthermore, we can see that he has an issue with eye contact. He's looking at the floor, like he's about to stretch out his hands and say, "What are those?" Every bit of this film, from its writing to its visual direction, puts you back into the emotional headspace of the characters it's portraying. This in turn gives you such a strong connection to the characters. You want what burdens them now to be just a beautiful memory. You're compelled to watch they themselves claw themselves back from catastrophe. You get lovesick over the dream of watching them flourish. This movie makes you wish the world well. Now, I've covered a lot of shit, so before we get off track, let's do a quick tally of the reasons why I'm fucking in love with this movie. We've got the feels, we've got the amazing visuals, we've got the visceral and compelling narrative, we've got the intensely lovable characters, and, the romantic anticipation. Now, this one is very personal to me. I am a sucker for little bitches who should be all kissy kissy and loving and shit, but then they just keep you hanging on and they give you no kind of climax, or sometimes they do. It's the pretense of whether or not they will or will not deliver that's fucking need it. Either way, if you've ever seen 1 Week Friends, if you've seen Chunibyo, if you've seen Toradora, or anything that involves lesbians, I am the guy in the back of the movie theater who's like, "Hey, you douche! Fuck me, daddy, till my face falls off!" Guys, I could make a whole separate video on this, but God, I love it when the plot teases at romance, and then maybe kinda sometime delivers, but... And to be honest, my dudes, that's about all I want to say. Plot-wise, I've only discussed a few of the key points, but I've left a lot out. I've said absolutely jack shit about the supporting cast, this one fat nerd, and the fact that Shoya's mum is an absolute MILF. And I've also left out all the climaxes to the story. They are left there for you to find. At its core, A Silent Voice is a heartwarming story of growth. Your ability to be better than what you once were. Not in a practical way, but in a personal way. It's a story of a group of people who, through their beautiful mistakes, discoveries, and adventures, become more worldly and complete human beings. And that's how this film leaves you feeling. Worldly, complete, and human. Peace. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That was a video of me not screaming at a video game for once. And don't worry, I will be going back to that kind of stuff, but if you like this kind of laid-back, sort of more chilled out analytical content, then please let me know in the comments. I originally wanted to do this as a collaborative work with my friend Chaz Thy Great, but what we decided on is if you like this kind of thing, then me and Chaz Thy Great will get together and talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But otherwise, I would like to thank my Patreons by word of mouth this time. I'd like to thank Stephen Rawlings, Invid of INP, Chase Cameron, Latham, Dr. Russia, Folk_888, Quote Cannon, and Steely Dan, rather. I really appreciate your support, and in the meantime, anybody watching, thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful night. See you.